Been a long 4th of July weekend, but we're back at it. And this morning I have a Fishtails driver board. And you can see the modifications that I've made to it. And it came along with the MPU board, or 2 MPU boards actually, from Fishtails. This one had some alkaline corrosion below the battery holder, and I have cleaned all that up, replaced a few 10K resistors and this 103 ceramic cap, the ULN 2803 and the LM 339. Of course, I use sockets every time I do that. I wanted to make sure there was no corrosion underneath the headers, so I removed those and replaced them. Replaced the power input header, the cap at C31. There's a different reset generator below that tag. And I have socketed and installed NVRAM, so let's put it into test. I'm already on lamps and flashers, so why don't I test that first? That's working properly. Let me go back to the beginning so I don't skip something. Switch test. On Fishtails, you can see that the rightmost 2 columns are not used. So I'm going to test all the columns and all the rows, and here are some of the coin door switches, and those are all working properly. Solenoid test, and I'll get it cycling. Fishtails uses the first 16 solenoids plus repurposes solenoid 28 for the real motor, so that's why that was on for just a little bit longer than normal. Let's see that go through there one more time. I blinked and missed solenoid 1. There it is. And GI test. So this is a good workout of both the MPU and the CPU board together. Correct. Do lamps and flashers at the same time. There's all the flashers and all the lamps. It's an interesting effect with a column seemingly walking through there. That's not happening in real life. The camera does that. So that is it for these 2 boards. This one I had to remove parts, clean up traces. There were no broken traces, so I didn't have to run any jumpers. And sand down to bare copper, conformal coat, install parts, and she is back to factory condition. And a second Fishtails MPU from the same client. I have installed NVRAM. There's nothing wrong with this one, it just needed to be have NVRAM installed, and I did put a different reset generator in there and the filter cap and replaced J210. And other than that, I think this one's good to go. So let's get it into test. Switch test. So all the switch columns and rows are working, and these are the coin door switches, and those are all working also. Do solenoid test just to make sure it's driving the solenoids correctly. I'm only going to do 1 solenoid. Well, let me do them all. It makes a difference. This is solenoid 1 drive, solenoid 2 drive, solenoid 3 drive, etc. from the MPU board ASIC, and that is the fish reel. Make sure it's driving GI correctly, and it is. And we'll do lamps and flashers, and those are both operating correctly. So this MPU board is good to go also.